Today, I'm going to be breaking down Bust Down by Zlatan featuring Asake, where as usual, I'm going to be talking you through the various elements that I'm picking up on as we go through it. Right, headphones on, let's get into some new music.
Oh yeah, bust down, bizarre, now I'm a logo down. Cash money, I'm a yummy job. Young Shoki, I'm a no day dog. Bakali Kushiru, good pass my team, my jet on.
Nice harmonies.
Me, I pray to the Lord. I will be done in my life with the Lord. Many things I know fit up. But if it's me, I don't wanna be poor. I'm a yummy, shano me. When they go by, they grab on my body like Scooty. I just up when you press on me. Senti my mom, cause I'm saburi.
Nice cut. Okay, right, going to stop it there. We have leaked over into the chorus, so let's talk about the intro and the first verse. Alright, so let's talk about the intro, which in this case is actually the chorus, and I've discussed this many times on many other videos, but it's never a bad move to open up with a chorus, because the chorus is the main hook of the track, right? So if you open up with it, you're very likely to get audience engagement pretty much from the get-go, which, as we know, is not a bad thing. But what I do like about this one in particular is you notice that everything is stripped back, so we are just left with the vocals there. So we almost get this kind of added bonus in the sense that not only do we have the chorus that's engaging audiences early, but with leaving just the vocals in there, we also get a nice opening, a nice intro to the track. Ad-libs, quite a few going on in this intro, so pay attention to that. But also, as we go over into that second segment, you notice that we almost get like this solo percussion piece, which again, you know what, it's a nice touch, because what it does from an audience perspective is it sets you up rhythmically for when we're going to tip over into that first verse. Now, talking about the first verse, all the drums come into the mix now, and we have a nice steady 4/4 rhythm. Set of keys, they're also introduced, but pay attention to the way that they alternate. What you'll notice is that on the first bar of the first verse, we get one press. On the second bar, we get two presses, and that cycle continues throughout that first verse. Vocals, very heavily layered towards the back end, and we also get some really nice harmonies in there as well. Second segment, we shift over into that and we get this introduction of a higher range instrument. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Either way though, it bangs because it brings something new and fresh to the track. And then of course, just to finish things off, they give us that dirty, filthy, but extremely likable hybrid sound between the log drum and the synth bass. Let's go back, let's listen. Right, just the vocals there. Right, percussion solo piece. Keys are in there. Listen to the alternation. Harmonies. Many things I know fit up. But if it's me, I don't wanna be poor. Hybrid sound. And there's that higher range instrument. Yeah, that cut bangs.
Logo tire, I want to take care of me, if you know be Messiah, but on the motion, I be $500,000 sire. Mi ò gara, mi ò kana, nǹkan tójú mi rí tójú ẹ bá rí olè máa yá. don't be money, Apumaka. Perfect me, Marama, Barao Bouncer. You can see, go shit for Mole. Pavati Babico, you go some of your bed. She love Bugatan and it's on the rocket. Once bit it twice shot, all of my love. Say, if you choose that drug, I go take you overdose. Go away and Japurata, Timaru Bulon, Pampe, agent, loan in my zone. The credit I want to see for my phone.
Okay, right, we're going to stop it there. Let's talk about the chorus and let's talk about the second verse. All right, so let's talk about the chorus. There's really only two things here, or at least two main things that I want to talk about. And the first one is the introduction of those beautiful and stunning strings that they bring into the mix. And it's not just because I'm a fan of strings, especially when they're being used well like they are here, but it's a really good way to switch things up in the chorus instrumentally. Secondly are the vocals, and this is something that we would kind of expect, although it doesn't always happen, but just pay attention to the vocals. You notice that they are continuously layered now throughout that chorus, and of course, as we would expect, they're big, wide, and they're filling up all of that space. Moving on to the second verse, and the first thing that we notice here is that hybrid sound that we were talking about earlier, that actually comes back into the mix. But the real thing I want you to pay attention to here is what's going on vocally. And I've spoken about this not in great detail, but I've mentioned it in previous videos quite a bit, and it's the importance around padding out vocals, especially when you're going down this kind of path of like a rapping segment like we have here, but also, you know, we're going to call it a singing segment, although, you know, you wouldn't necessarily call, at least traditionally, what's going on here singing. It's more along the lines of holding a note. But regardless of that, when you're entering or going down this type of path, it's important to pad those vocals out. And this is a good example, because what you'll notice is that there's lots of layers on the back end phrases. We've got lots of ad-libs coming in, and on top of that, we also get a follow-up sound to the lead vocal. Now, if you think about that, that's a lot of vocal activity going on all at once. If you had, let's say traditional singer, right? Let's take Adele, right? There's no way on earth that you would have that amount of vocal activity on one of her tracks. But when you're going down this type of path, it's important to do it, because it wouldn't have the same effect without it. And then the final thing, just to draw your attention to, and it's kind of along the similar line, but it's the higher range instrument that we get towards the back end, or as we go over into the second segment. Yes, it's bringing not necessarily something new, but it's switching the track up a little bit. But you also notice, if you pay attention, that it's doing a really good job of supporting that rap section of the track. Let's go back. Let's listen. Right, chorus, strings. Listen to how big the vocals are. Hybrid sound. Listen to the vocal activity.
Don't be money, Apumaka.
There's that higher range sound now.
Once bit it twice shot, all of my love. Say, if you choose that drug, I go take you overdose. Go away and Japurata, Timaru Bulon, Pampe, agent, loan in my zone. The credit I want to see for my phone.
Rings back in. Nice car. Right, and just very quickly before we go ahead and see the rest of the track out, notice in this third verse, we don't get the hybrid sound at all. We get the keys that come in, and as we're kind of getting into this segment, they bring the strings in, which is something that we didn't have either of those before in the second verse. So 2 significant changes within the track there.
Like this, Maluto ni Oluwa ló ń balẹ̀ ṣe. Ọmọ wèrè Olúwa ló ń ṣọ́. Agbégbá orin wọn ní kí la fẹ́ kọ́. Wọ́n ní pé lójọ́ tá mi mo padà di celeb. Àwọn wèrè wọ́n ní mo lọ
celeb.
Ikú padà ẹ̀ tí mo ti yẹ jẹ́. Lọ́mọ wọn ló parí, kálọ́jà ìṣẹ̀ ń jẹ́. Èmi láì mi ọlọ́pàá mi lè sẹ́ńpẹ́.
That high range sound, mate. Bangs.
They say no snake, baby. What got you could see one of seen you breaking carrigo. You want it ready to do, baby, type for a table.
No strings, man. Outro. See us out now. Distortion on the vocals. Bangs, mate. Okay, that's it for me. If you want to see more breakdown and analyses videos, there'll be things popping up on the screen right now. Other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you in the next one.